Welcome back, everybody, to Sydney Spin Big Ten edition. And now it was a lot of great games last weekend. We saw Oregon Ducks. They really separated themselves from the pack as they're leading the Big Ten right now out of conference play at 20-1. We saw UCLA be battle tested, go into a 10th inning stretch back and forth with Arizona. They're 18-4 right now. We saw Ohio State, who is quietly, I feel like, picking up more and more wins at 13-4. They had another back and forth battle with Georgia. Iowa off to the best start this season at 13-5. And then we have Nebraska, who I'm so excited to talk with shortstop here today. 15-6. And now joining me is the Husker herself, Ava Kuszak. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Ava, we were laughing. I feel like we've chatted so much over these last
Yes.
months. It's been awesome. But I want to know, just as you're putting on this uniform more and more, you're getting used to Nebraska softball. What have these last few weeks been like for you?
They've been awesome. Honestly, just getting out to be able to put on that uniform and now it's feeling a little bit more comfortable because like you're kind of like, oh, new uniforms, don't know how they're gonna look. Love them, absolutely love them. But also just feeling more comfortable every day, just going in, wearing them. I feel like our team's getting stronger, just keep growing off of every battle we have every weekend. So just gotta keep going with that. But it's been really fun.
Well, the uniform looks great on you, I must say.
Oh. The gray ones are
The gray
those are
ones are nice. I agree. We have a top uniform list coming up soon for South America. People are gonna have to check that out. And I put those on my voting ballot just to let you know. So I also agree with
those
you
ones, yeah, I love them.
there. But even as I was just, introducing this and talking about, kind of these top five Big Ten teams right now. Again, very early in the season, a lot of room for anyone else to step up. But what I think really stands out to you guys at Nebraska, Oregon, UCLA in specific, is the type of competition you guys have played. I mean, you are facing Women's College World Series participants from last year. You're facing how many tournament teams? And when you open up your season against the Tennessee and you guys make a statement right away, like how much have you just liked being able to challenge yourself and the rest of the team against the top teams right away?
I think we're super big on iron sharpens iron, and we love going up against big teams because we know we can compete with them. Especially going off of like those games, you can learn so much from just like one game and like where you can grow on or what you can go back and practice or what you really is working well. So I think it's been really cool just to like have those games battle and show our competition and our dog in us, but also be able to like learn so much from all of those games. And then just knowing that like even if it's win or lose, just know like it's beginning of the season and this game might not be what happens in the end of the season, and knowing we can take these games and build off of them and be the strongest on the end of the year.
I love the iron sharpens iron. That
Mhm.
I think that's such an example of the way you guys. It feels like anytime you guys might take a small punch, you throw back a bigger punch, and
Mhm.
I think that's the sign of a really good team. But what would you say the biggest lesson you guys have learned about yourselves?
I think honestly being able just to keep punching back, especially when our pitchers are giving us such like keeping us in such great games, just being able to get the job done for them and keep punching for them, just so they don't have to put pressure on themselves to keep throwing a good game, but also just get the job done and just keep fighting.
Yeah. I want to talk specifically about last weekend. You guys faced Missouri right away.
Mhm.
You drop a game and then you have an opportunity to finish your weekend with them. And the response by your team, I mean, you saw a completely different group of women almost felt like take the field. And then you guys, it's a back and forth battle and you win 10-9. Like, what were the conversations like after game one, knowing you guys had another shot at them?
They were more, it was back to just being like going and fighting. It was more just working on adjustments, quicker adjustments, pitch to pitch, just so we can have better at bats, stronger at bats, and keep growing. And also just trying to just find a way on, not, you don't have to think about it too much. So I think when we went into the second game, we just really tried, we are just like, just get the job done and know the person behind me wants to do it too. It just takes the pressure off of you once you do like have that mindset.
And even when you're talking about at bats, I want to talk about yours because when I look at last year, you came on the Big Ten scene known as one of the top hitters, obviously at Wisconsin. And I look at your numbers were super great then. But what you've done this season, I mean, 12 long balls hitting in the 400s average wise, like What did you do in the off season, and what's just been kind of a change of approach that's worked so well for you?
I that's the one thing I'm like, I gotta give thanks to God and he's got my plan for me. And I just gotta keep trusting that. But also Coach Miller's just helps us prep so much. Just in practice, going into games, scouting pitchers, kind of getting visuals of what we're gonna see pitching wise, like curveballs, screwballs, kind of everything. But just I think honestly that helps with the adjustments because once you're in the cage, like you can kind of figure out what helps you get to a drop ball more or get to that curveball more. And then when you go to the games, you don't have to you already know those adjustments, so you don't have to kind of work through them throughout your bats. You can help it helps you go through pitch by pitch. But honestly, it's just been kind of trying to just I'm just trying to have fun and just enjoy it, but also take all the information that they've been giving me because I've been learning so much. So it's been really fun.
I think the most iconic thing about you is the last Instagram post you had of just like your fun celebrations when you
Yes.
round third base. Like that to me is the epitome of fun.
Yes.
Where has your relationship with this game changed the last 6 months since you joined Nebraska?
Honestly, it's just my heart just I've always loved this sport. I think it's honestly makes it better when you have like people that you kind of grew up playing with. Kind of when you had like in club, you always just like we would always have so much like fun and it kind of takes the seriousness out of it a little bit and we have to be like, okay, we gotta lock in. But just kind of enjoying the moments and just trying to be more present with everything has honestly been my biggest goal. So
So many new faces for you guys. And what I've loved is the amount of how quickly you it almost felt like you came together as a team. And you talk about enjoying that moment together. I know you're obviously a 1-2 punch with Jordy Ball, who also what we've seen with her at the plate, finally getting an opportunity really in her college career. I mean, you're saying it there right now. What is that like on the field relationship, off the field relationship with you
on the field, we have our like goal. It's like we try and go 1-2 every time. Like we're gonna see how many times we both can get on.
two?
Um, we always are like, okay, you, me, right here. But it honestly just makes it so fun because I know I don't have to put pressure on myself because she's right behind me and I know she's gonna get the job done either way. So it just helps me go in there ready to battle. And just be able to trust her and then I can cheer her on wherever I end up on the bases or you know but off the it's been great just growing that relationship again because obviously when you go separate ways in college we kept in touch but it wasn't like when you see them every day so it's been awesome just to be able to hang out and we love sending like hype videos to each other before games just to get ourselves hyped up. Our biggest ones like USA hockey right now is like when the video
Ooh.
of them fighting the first 3 seconds so we love that because it's like that's what we're gonna do for every single one of these girls on our team. So it just kind of hyped us up a little.
That's awesome. Did you send it first or did she send it to you?
She sent it to me, and then we just it keeps going now. And it's like when you're like your feed now automatically knows what you want to look at. It's all of that, so it just
Right.
keeps going back and forth.
So if we see you guys drop the gloves, we know it's game on.
Oh yeah, you know.
I want to talk about this team. I know obviously your roommate is on the team in Talia and even just fun decoration behind you. What's it been like living with her? Like ways that you've expressed yourself? Like I want to know more about Ava off the field.
Me and Talia, she loves to cook. So she's always making me dinner. So I love that. But we always just kind of mess around with just baking and stuff because she has an espresso machine. So
Oh,
we coffee, biggest thing. We always make our coffees, white chocolate raspberry, my go-to latte.
yum.
And then we just honestly just get to hang out and work like just hang out with each other. And I think all of our teammates are really close to each other too. We're kind of how Lincoln works. It's like they're more a little bit more north than we are, but we always like will go and hang out with them. Like we had like a Galentine's Day where Ava Breadwell like made the cutest like set of like chocolate covered strawberries and like the cutest little layout. Like it was adorable. So I think we just like always when we get the chance, like we're always together. Which makes it really fun because then it's you have like your best friends on and off the field no matter what.
What's amazing to me, even about like the Galentines, is you guys are doing this in season. And I mean, as you know as well as anybody, it almost feels like your life becomes I'm going to dump out the one bag of clothes, wash them, put them back in, and you're on the
Yep.
road again. So, like, It's an effort to be able to spend so much time together during the week in those 2 days you have at home.
Mhm. And it honestly, it helps so much once you come home from a weekend, like, kind of just decompress, and then you can reset for the next weekend too. And just, like, you have, like, the downtime and just get to hang out, and then, the next time when you're playing, you have your best friend right there next to you, so.
Oh, there's nothing better than that. Okay, I wanna know about the pictures behind you. Tell me, why did you pick the ones that you did?
I'm a more of, like, a neutral girl. That
Okay.
one's the beach, love the beach. Um
Not a lot
There's
of
some
beaches in
eggs up there
Nebraska, but,
too. I don't know if you can see it. There's, like, eggs. I have a bunch of chickens at home, so that one's like that reminds me of home. But, I kinda just sticked with neutral colors because 'cause my room's kind of just, like, try and keep it clean, nice. But
again, oppressive in season. So
yeah.
impressed with
Oh,
you.
yeah, we have to work hard to keep it there, but
You mentioned chickens. I know for you coming back to Nebraska, obviously have family here. Nebraska is what you've known so much, and now you're heading into opening weekend on this field. How much are you looking forward to playing in front of your family and just this home crowd?
I'm so excited. I think my aunt's more excited than anyone because she has like all of her dogs have like little Nebraska bow collars and they're so cute. But I'm just excited for them all to come out and see. I know like traveling is so hard sometimes, especially when my parents are dealing with 5 dogs at home currently. So trying to figure out where to put them when they come and visit me or my brother who's currently playing too at a junior college just 2 hours north, but it makes it so much more fun because they get to be there and enjoy it, and they also get to see my brother too.
Talk about that relationship with your brother. Obviously, how competitive was it growing up playing ball in the backyard?
Oh, yeah, it was always we would play in the basement when it would be snowy in Colorado, and we'd have, like, our chalkboard, and we'd keep tallies of the runs. We'd break a couple things, we'd get a little yelled at just because we were going crazy in the basement with wiffle ball. Um But it just makes it so much fun, like, I always text them, like, "How are you doing?" Like, I wanna know, like, "Am I doing better or are you doing better than
A
me?"
little competition,
Like, let's see who's going. But, which is kinda hard because he's pitcher, so I'm like, "Okay, I gotta kind of even these out."
right?
But, it's been cool, and I think since it's been his freshman year, I've just really tried to help him kinda work through that too, because 'cause I've been there too.
Mhm.
Um, and it's cool just being 2 hours because he's come down for, like, the football games in the fall, so I got to see him a lot more than I did when I was at Wisconsin, so it was cool.
That's so special. I wanna know what's been the biggest piece of advice that you've given him?
My biggest piece of advice was time management for him. I think like just because you never know what could happen like in your day, especially with practice or homework. I'm like just make sure you have it all figured out beforehand so you know like you don't have to worry about it. Especially going into practice when you have everything kind of figured out, you don't have to worry about it when you're at practice and you get to just go play the game you love. So,
Yeah, some of the best right advice right there. And if I really wanted to ask you this question, because I get from so many, youth program players, travel ball players, so many people come to your games to say, like, how do people find the right fit? And I know for you, obviously, at Wisconsin, now going to Nebraska, like, what would you say to a younger person having to enter the transfer portal and being really happy with where you're at?
mhm. I honestly think the biggest when I went into the portal, like it was obviously a scary because you never know what's gonna happen when you go in there. I just trusted God and I just knew I needed to trust my heart with my decision and wherever I felt I could grow more. So I just kind of I knew what questions of what I wanted out of my program or and wanted to ask people and trying to figure out what would fit best for me. So I think questions are definitely the biggest thing and also just following your heart with it too. Because if it feels right, I think when I came on campus, I was like, yeah, this feels right.
You've mentioned faith now a few times, and I just want to give you an opportunity to talk more about that, how that impacts just your game or even your, relationship with Rhonda Revelle, because I know that's also a big important piece for her in her program and how she talks to you guys in her messages.
Mhm. I grew up going to Catholic school like my entire for K through 12. So that was kind of like in my family would always they kind of just based my beliefs on my religion. And I think going to college has been the coolest thing just because I've been able to kind of grow it in my way. and how I want, especially with your schedules, like it's kind of tough. So being able to do that, and Abby and Jordy have like a Bible study, so being able to go and do that, um, and then just when you go and play, you just know all the people. Like we would talk about like who you're praying for, or, like what you need prayers for. So I think being able to go on the field with people that are truly there for you in and out of softball, and being able to trust that there's bigger things than softball, rather than how you do. I think that's just been the biggest thing for me, and just being able to play.
Do you think that's kind of paid tribute to how close you guys have gotten as a team quickly being able to share that type of relationship?
Mhm. Like, as soon as we got all the transfers got on campus, like, all of the returners made sure, like, we knew that we had them,
Mhm.
because they made us come over for dinner. Talia was like, "Ava and Kinley are making dinner. We're all going over. You're coming." And I was like, "Okay." When I'm, like, trying to move my stuff in, so I was like, "Okay, I'm getting forced." But it honestly made it so much better because it just you know that they truly want you there and they truly love you for the person that you are. And just being able to do that outside of softball too, because you're not like the person you are after you graduate is a completely different person. So, um, just having those friendships for the lifetime is something looking forward to. So,
How much do you feel like it was meant to be with, bringing in 6 transfers? You brought in Jordy the year before for all of you guys to be in this moment and be this team together.
I sit there and I'm like, everything happens for a reason. Like with how everything has worked out. It's kind of funny because when I called Coach Ravel my junior year and was like, I'm committing somewhere else, she was like, okay, I'll see you. And like on the field. But then when I came, she was like, looks like I'm gonna see you more. So it's just kind of
Love
cool
that.
how everything's worked out. That's why I just being able to trust God's plan because everything happens for a reason, no matter good or bad. It always is going to help you in the long term. So that's been the cool thing about it. But yeah, it's been very cool.
It's so special. Okay, so now kind of bring your eyes back to the field. Your opening weekend, and then you start Big Ten play the following weekend. You're a Big Ten player through and through. You've experienced this conference, but what's it going to be like now wearing it, kind of in a different uniform, but how much you feel like you're going to be able to use that experience of understanding the conference and these opponents?
Mhm. I'm really excited for Big Ten. I can't believe it's almost Big Ten already, which like it's crazy how it's already March. But I'm just excited just to I know that they are gonna when people scout, you just got to try and break the scouting reports. I think that's been our like biggest team thing is like going in, especially if you're a returner, they're gonna go after what you did and they're gonna see where your holes are. So just trying to break scouting reports. And honestly, just continue just to play. I think just our team relays just so much of just fighting and we just want to win games and we'll do it for each other. So I think that's the biggest thing for us is just continuing to do it for each other.
Is there a series you're most looking forward to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I have like a specific one. I'm excited to keep going to like different like Big Ten like stadiums because I we go to Ohio State and I haven't seen their stadium. So I'm actually and Northwestern, we're going to theirs too. So I'm actually excited just to kind of go to different like stadiums than I've already been to. So that'll be fun.
I'm excited for you guys to go now, and I get to call it, so I'll see you in Evanston.
Perfect.
Well, Ava, as we wrap up, I want to ask you this last one. Is you talk about the fight with this team. Where does this fight come from?
We have like we've always said 25 strong. This fight just comes for each other, honestly. Um, I think when we see our pitchers absolutely dealing or we see someone having an absolute game for hitting, we know that we got to step it up on defense and back them up, or we got to step it up on offense and back them up. So I think the biggest thing has just been doing it together and fighting for each other, which has been really cool.
Awesome. Well, Ava, it's been a pleasure all season long. Thank you so much for joining the podcast
Thank
today.
you for having me. This was a lot of